Yo, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another sidebar or side note edition of the Roundtable Talk. I'm your host, Money, and what do you mean by sidebar or side note? Meaning that this is coming from a conversation or episode that we did a while back about local businesses and how businesses are being, you know, like a lot of South Florida businesses are going and change and stuff. So we're here in Broward County in the city of Oakland Park, and we are now coming up to, if you can see it, Long John Silver. Now let me give you a little bit about this. Remember a while back we did an episode about how a lot of businesses are leaving South Florida. A lot of the businesses. Noise of the drag racing, but a lot of businesses are leaving South Florida. Like businesses like I've told you, Long John Silver's, there are no Miami locations. If you looked at my last video where I did a video in Florida City and I showed you that there was a Long John Silver's there, the building still stands, but the building is closed. And there are several other locations. This is the first Long John Silver's if you're coming from the south end of South Florida going north, and this is the last Long John Silver's here if you're coming from north going south. This is on Oakland Park Boulevard between 27th and 31st Avenue. This is kind of an interesting Long John Silver's because a friend of mine, I don't remember if I told you this story, a childhood friend of mine that from my neighborhood works at this Long John Silver's, and I don't know if I ever told you that they was a manager at the Hialeah location, and I used to see them a few times at the Hialeah location because that was the one closest to me. And when the Hialeah location got closed, they got transferred here. So this is how I figured out that this was the southernmost Long John Silver's in the state of Florida, because they got transferred to this location. I've seen them about 2 or 3 times here. And there's another location I know in Pompano, near the Pompano City Center, which I'll probably do a video of that within the coming weeks. But I don't know if it still exists. I know I seen it and Googled it online, but that was a few years ago. I don't know if it still exists, but I know that this is one of the few. I only know of the 2 locations they have here is the one in Oakland Park, and there's one in Pompano. They probably have several others, but this is to tell you that a lot of businesses are leaving South Florida, and I don't believe it's because of declining in sales, like how Winn-Dixie, they're not making money because Walmart is overpowering the sales and stuff like that. Long John Silver's is technically the only fish and chip restaurant standalone. You have Arthur Treacher's, but if the story behind Arthur Treacher's is we're going to get into that in another show, because that's going to be part of our food review South Florida. Arthur Treacher's they have locations, but they don't have standalone locations. Their food is served out of another location, which we're going to get into that and show you. And this is one of the few locations. It's still the Long John Silver's. It's still standing. It still looks the same. They do have a TV in here for you to watch TV. Everything same. They still do commercials for Long John Silver's down here, because of course we do have several locations. We just have none in South Florida. The location in Hialeah was torn down, but the sign of the location is still up. It just have a for sale sign or lease sign covering up the sign. The one in Holmes, Florida City, if you saw my video that I did in Florida City, the building and the sign is still up because it sits right in between it sits in between a gas station and a Burger King, and so it's still sitting there. They're probably gonna fix it up and make it into another restaurant. Most of these restaurants get built, then get rebranded into different other restaurants. There's several restaurants. There's several KFCs to my understanding that closed down and got rebranded into other restaurants as well as that. Remember, I was telling you a lot of these restaurants like Shoney's and Piccadilly's and Long John Silver's and Bojangles. Remember I told you the only Bojangles I know that is the closest Bojangles to here is Sanford, Florida, because I visited last year when I went on a trip to Orlando with a few friends of mine. We ended up at the Bojangles at Sanford. Just like this. This is a called Red Velvet restaurant, and what does it look like? Pizza Hut. And I'm guessing I will never visit this restaurant because I don't know what this restaurant is. I don't know what they're selling. I probably have to go online. But this is what I'm telling you. A lot of these restaurants are being closed out, and they're being because this looks like it used to be a dine-in Pizza Hut, which it probably was because of the shape that it's in and the shape of the roof is a dine-in Pizza Hut. A lot of the Pizza Huts now are mainly you get in, you order your food, or you either carry out or you come in there, you place your order, you wait on your food, or you order online, you come pick up your food and stuff like that, or you get it delivery. You don't have many standalone, you don't have many eat-in Pizza Huts like that. You'd have a few, but not many. Most of the Pizza Huts now, they're small where they have like 2 or 3 chairs so you can sit and wait on your food, and you get it and you go. And this is one of the Pizza Huts. This is called Red Velvet. It's a restaurant here in Oakland Park. It's right next to Long John Silver's. And this is what I was telling you. Like, even, a lot of these buildings, like, I don't think that Pizza Hut closed because they bought this building. I think Pizza Hut probably closed because maybe a financial crisis or something like that, because I believe that's what Long John Silver's is. I don't know why the reason Long John ended their locations in Miami. But they do not have any locations in Miami. As I say, this is the first location that sits near, it's in Oakland Park. If you're coming from the south end, this is the first Long John Silver's. If you're coming from the north end, this is the last Long John Silver's. Now, I don't know how many Long John Silver's are still in the state of Florida. I know there are 2 here. I haven't seen none in Orlando, but I'm quite sure they're out there, and there are probably some other in other areas. Now, Long John Silver's is, like I said, this is one of the only fish and chips restaurants I know. There are, as you know, mom and pop fish and chip restaurants that, and most of them are not really fish and chips. They sell actual, fresh fish that gets fried. It's not like Long John Silver's. These are like them store-bought. I'm not saying that they are store-bought, but these are like those, store-bought fried fish that you buy from the store that's packed, stuff like that. These are not the real fish that they catch. Well, Long John Silver's do sell real fish. I'm not gonna say they don't sell real fish. Let me not get into a little bit of a situation and everybody starts going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But this is, one of those, restaurants. These are like chain restaurants. Chain restaurants, most of them, they don't have, authentic food, and I'm not going to say that Long John Silver's don't, because some of their food, most of their food is, it's real, it's delicious, it's good. But this is not going on the food reviews. This is just a side note to saying that this is what happens when you don't support. And look at the parking lot. It's empty. It's not many people here. I visited here a few times, and it has not been many people here. Here's to say that you have to support these businesses, because these are locations that we need to support, and we need to, keep, in our areas, because by you not coming to these restaurants, I can only come up here when I can, because remember, I live in Miami, and this is in the Broward County area, and I'm in the Miami-Dade County area. So I can only come up here when I can. And I decided to come up here to do a video because, I did a video, I did a food review, and I said I also wanted to do a video here of Long John Silver's to say this is one of the few Long John Silver's left here in South Florida. Now, if you can, if there are any other Long John Silver's, I will try to Google and see if there's any other locations, but this is one of the very few locations that they have down here. And of course, there are not many of them left. I only know of 2 in Broward. There are probably there are probably only 2 in Broward. There may be 3 or 4, I don't know, but this is the only one that I know of. And I stumbled upon this one day. I was coming, I was, going somewhere, and I saw this, and I was like, there's a Long John Silver's here, and I decided to eat that. Well, I'm going to go and order my food. I'm going to order some food from here as well too, because I rarely get Long John Silver's, because when I was a kid, remember, I grew up in Opelika, so the Long John Silver's location that I normally used to go to, they had 2 Long John Silver's locations that I used to go to. There was one in Hialeah, off of 103rd Street, which is in West Hialeah, and in Hialeah it's called East and West 49th Street. And then they had one, remember I told you I did a video of downtown Miami. They had a Long John Silver's in a building called Flagler Station, and it was upstairs on the mezzanine area in the food court area. They had a Long John Silver's there. That was one of the few that closed early. I believe the one in Homestead was probably the last one to close, because this building still stands. Now, I don't know how long ago it closed. I know the one in Hialeah been closed for quite some time, because they demolished the building and they actually tore the building down, but they kept the sign up. So I know that has been closed for quite some time, and they wasn't getting as much business as they was too, but they was getting business, but not as much as you would thought. And the one I visited, the one in Florida City one time, me and a friend of mine, we ended up going there one day, and that was 10 plus years ago. And I wanted to go down there. When I did the video of Florida City, I said I wanted to go and see if it exists, even though I Googled it and it said it was closed. But you can never trust Google sometimes, because sometimes Google will tell you a place is closed down, and it's actually open, or it'll tell you that the place is open, but you get there and it's actually closed down. Because I done had several businesses that I tried to go to and it says it's closed, and when I call them, they say, oh, we're open. So you have to go and check out these things for yourself to make sure that these things are open, because sometimes Google and the businesses in Google don't update their saying information. A business can close down, but don't go on Google and update that, oh, it's been closed down, or nobody tells Google, hey, this business is closed down. You need to put it as closed down, because people are going to Google this business. Just like I was telling you about the Boston Market locations, and there's one up here somewhere in Broward, I don't remember where, and it says temporarily closed, but we all know that they closed all of their Florida locations, from my understanding, from what it was said, because they wasn't paying their workers. But the location in here in Broward, because if you Google Boston Market, it gives you a location, I think in Tamarack, if I'm not mistaken, and it says temporarily closed. But we all know it's not temporarily closed, it's permanently closed, because there are no more Boston Markets here. Well, there are no more in South Florida. I don't know about in the state of Florida, because I Googled it and it said it's supposed to be 44 locations within the state of Florida. But when you go to try to get on the Boston Market website, they don't have, their website is kind of iffy, like it's crashed or like it doesn't really exist, and it's giving you the runaround. It's not the original website, and then it doesn't give you like all the locations of Florida. Like, some of the locations are telling you, oh, that's not a location, but it's supposed to be a location of Boston Market. So it is like real crazy. So you gotta make sure when you Google these places, make sure they have a website, make sure that it's accurate, that they're open and stuff. This Long John Silver's is open. Like I said, this is off of Oakland Park Boulevard, which is here, and it's between 27th Avenue, which is the light over there, and 31st Avenue. And when I stumbled upon it, I said, ooh, I can get me some Long John Silver's, and it'll be something decent, it'll be something nice. And as I told you, like I said, this used to be a Pizza Hut that was next door to it. It's called Red, well, I'm gonna see if I can get the sign, Red Velvet Kitchen and Grill. And as you can see from the roof, it was a Pizza Hut. Now, I don't believe that they bought it from Pizza Hut. I believe Pizza Hut closed down, and the company that is here now probably purchased the restaurant and made it into a Red Velvet Kitchen and Grill. Now, I don't know what they sell. Maybe one day we'll do a food review in the store, but for right now, we're more focused on the Long John Silver's. So if you have a Long John Silver's in your area, please let me know. Let me know what area you're in, if you have a Long John Silver's, or if the Long John Silver's closed in your area, because we have to support these businesses like Winn-Dixie. They're closing several Winn-Dixies, and that's not because of the business, because they've had several lawsuits against them, and they're declining because of a lot of sales, just like Sears and Kmart and stuff. And You know, a lot of these places that are going down because, you know, people are now remoting to Amazon and Walmart and online shopping to where, you know, it's kind of hard for these businesses to stay afloat. So we're going to, you know, we got to keep these businesses going, because if we want these businesses to thrive, you know, and to be around for a couple of more years, which I doubt that's going to happen, you know, because, you know, eventually people are going to say, hey, we're not making no money, you know, and we are just losing money by keeping these stores open or keeping these restaurants open. So it's best for us to have it. So now I'm going to say bye-bye to y'all. But as I said bye-bye, we're going to do a inside video of the store, because and the store is going to end. So I'm going to say this: comment roundtable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to comment at the bottom of this page if you have any restaurant knowledge. If you've ever been to a Long John Silver's and it closed, let me know. If you had a Long John Silver's in your area and it's closed, if you still have a Long John Silver's in your area, let me know. If you've ever been to this Long John Silver's? This is probably like third or fourth time. I don't remember how many times I've been here. I haven't been here that many. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to take it over to show you the inside of Long John Silver's, and then we're going to cut the episode off, and then I'm going to order my food from there. So I thank y'all for watching this. This is the Roundtable Talk. Please support these chain businesses so they won't get closed out and bought out by mom and pop restaurants, because this is a mom and pop restaurant. This used to be a Pizza Hut. It is now a Red Velvet Kitchen and Grill. Not saying that they bought out the Pizza Hut property. They just probably, Pizza Hut closed, and eventually the place was up for sale and they bought it and they turned it into a kitchen and grill restaurant. So we don't want this Long John Silver's to be closed out and to be made into something else, you know. So we want our chained restaurants to be bought into something, you know, and we don't want our chain restaurants to be bought into something that we, you know, that we may or may not like. You know, we want it to stay here. We want this Long John Silver's to stay here for at least 20 more years, you know, at least. We don't want it to close, because not only are you taking away history and legacies of food, you're also taking away employment for people, you know, because, you know, when I did the video for Mall of the Americas, which is now Midway Crossings, I had a conversation with the girl that worked at Radio Shack. She said there was the only Radio Shack that was open, and she said, I hope they don't close because this is her only job. And I'm like, yeah, this is not just because the county says this, people are losing jobs by you closing these restaurants. You know, you close this Pizza Hut, who's to say that a lot of the people in the restaurant got transferred to different locations? Like I said, a friend of mine from my childhood neighborhood works at this restaurant because he used to work at the Hialeah location, and when they closed down, as a manager, he got transferred over to here. Now, who's to say that they transferred all of the workers to this location? They probably had to tell the workers, hey, we have enough workers, we're going to have to let you go because we can't afford to have too many workers at one location. So, you know, now you're putting it where now you have to let go workers because, you know, you're closing these businesses that we've loved as childhood. You know, I loved Long John Silver's as a childhood. When I used to go to Hialeah and stuff, and, you know, go to the clothing stores and go to the shops and stuff. My mom used to take me to, you know, and then you ring the bell at the end for good service. So this is what it was. So, okay, I thank you for watching this. We're going to do an inside tour of this, and after that, we are going to end our show. I thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay hydrated, and I will see you in the next episode, and we're going to do a quiet tour of the Long John Silver's. Sweet. Oh, the bell. Hello. Fish shrimp platter. I want the fish and chicken platter. Give me one moment. This is the Roundtable Talk. I don't know what I want.